Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti-smriti-purāṇānaṁ ālayam karuṇālayam namāmi bhagavatpādam Shankaram lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badharayanam Sutrabhashya-kritau vande Bhagavantau punah-punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Mukti-bheda-vibhagine Vyoma-vat-vyapta-dehāya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shri Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinem Bhagavatem Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvam Anusandadhami Bhagavat Gite Bhavadveshinim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sankapadakramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasam Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantanna Vidusura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Om. So, Namaste once again, everyone.
Namaste, Guruji. Pranam.
Pranam.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste. So today we will see a summary of the 9th chapter of the Gita. And first we will briefly examine the background in which the 9th chapter is set. And of course, I forgot to announce, I may take a few minutes extra today also. Okay. Depends upon how fast I go or how slow I go. Anyway. So, in the first Shatkam, the first 6 chapters, after broadly dealing with the topic of Jiva Swarupam, Jiva Prayatna and Karma Yoga, Krishna entered into a different set of topics in the second Shatkam, the Madhyama Shatkam. That is from chapters 7 to 12. And as I said earlier, the topics covered in this section are Ishvara Swarupam, nature of God, Ishvara Anugraha, the contributory role of Ishvara's grace, and Upasana Sadhana or Saguna Dhyanam, the discipline of meditation upon God in any particular form. So these 3 topics are covered in the second Shatka. And in the 7th chapter, Krishna talked about Ishvara Swarupa Jnanam of both Saguna Ishvara and Nirguna Ishvara. The 9th chapter of Gita is very similar to the 7th chapter and very different from the 8th chapter. And therefore, Krishna wants to show the difference of the 9th chapter from the topic of the 8th chapter. In the 8th chapter, Saguna Ishvara Upasana was elaborately described. Saguna Ishvara Upasana means meditation upon the Lord with various attributes, various virtues. And this Saguna Ishvara Upasana has the capacity to give liberation in an indirect manner. And as we saw, This method of getting liberation or moksha in an indirect manner is called Krama Mukti. And this Krama Mukti was discussed in the 8th chapter. And in this, a person practices Saguna Ishvara Upasana throughout the life without coming to Nirguna Ishvara Jnanam, without coming to Brahma Jnanam. In fact, he carefully avoids Nirguna Jnanam and confines himself or herself to Saguna Upasana. And we know that Saguna Upasana cannot directly lead to liberation. Therefore, it has to lead to liberation only in an indirect way. And what is that indirect method? As a result of Saguna Upasana, a person travels after death. He will not merge in Ishvara or Brahman. He will not get Jivan Mukti. He will not get Videha Mukti also. But the Jiva will travel after death and go to Brahma Loka. And for knowing all these things, for us, the scriptures are the only pramanam, the means of knowledge. Because otherwise, whether the Jiva who has done Saguna Upasana goes to Brahma Loka or not, who can verify? Whoever has gone to Brahma Loka is not going to come back in the same form. And that too not quickly. And therefore, we go by what the scriptures say. And the scriptures point out that the Saguna Upasaka will get all the ideal conditions for Nirguna Jnanam in Brahmaloka. So there is no escape from Nirguna Brahma Jnanam. What he carefully and successfully avoided here in the Bhuloka, he will have to face it in Brahmaloka. Which means what? Vedanta, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasanam. He will have to complete that in Brahmaloka. Of course, he can do this in Brahmaloka comfortably, in very conducive circumstances, without any samsara problems, without any mobile phones ringing. And that too, he will get this jnanam not from any ordinary Acharya, but from Chaturmukha Brahmaji himself. And when the conditions for Vedanta are ideal, the teacher is wonderful, that Upasaka will get Nirguna Ishvara Jnanam in Brahmaloka. And as a result of that knowledge, he will become liberated. So this method of liberation is called Krama Mukti. And what is the uniqueness of this Krama Mukti? A person will not come to Jnana Yoga in Manushya Janma. A person will confine only to Saguna Upasana throughout. And as I said before also, Krishna is not interested in prescribing Krama Mukti because Krama Mukti is postponement of liberation to Brahmaloka. As far as Krishna is concerned, he wants us to enjoy liberation in this Janma itself, here and now itself. And therefore, he wants to prescribe Sadhyo Mukti as opposed to Krama Mukti, which means liberation here and now. So, Jivan Mukti is called Sadhyo Mukti. Sadhya means instant. Like we have got, these days everything instant is coming. Instant idli, instant sambar. Modern age is an instant age, where everything we can get instantly except for Brahmagyan. For that, you will have to toil. For years you have to do. There is no instant for Brahmagyan. But relatively speaking, if you get Sadhyo Mukti, that is instant moksha only, because you are going to get it in this Janma itself. So if all other things you can have instantly, why not liberation? That is Krishna's argument. And in this method, what do? We practice Saguna Upasana for a certain period of time to gain Chitta Naischalyam. Karma Yoga we would have done, it would have preceded the Saguna Upasana. So we already have got Chitta Shuddhi. Saguna Upasana will give us Chitta Naischalyam. And having practiced Saguna Upasana for some time, and having acquired enough qualifications or Jnana Yogyata, we switch over to Nirguna Jnanam in this Janma itself, instead of postponing it to Brahmaloka. And switching over to Nirguna Jnanam is what? Nothing but Vedanta Vichara hai, Upanishad Vichara hai, Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam. Because in the Upanishad, the nature of Lord is discussed as Nirguna. Mundaka Upanishad students will remember, we saw one mantra. So many times we have repeated, Yattat Adreshyam Agrahyam Agotram Avarnam Achakshuhu Srotram Tatpani Padam. Isn't it? So many times we have repeated that during Mundaka Upanishad classes. Then Kathopanishad also describes Ashabdham Asparsham Arupam Avyayam Tatah Rasam Tata Arasam Nityam Agandhavacha Yat. This is the description of Nirguna Brahman in Kathopanishad. So the Upanishads also discuss the nature of God, but not Saguna nature, Nirguna nature. So studying the Nirguna Swarupam of Ishvara is Brahma Jnanam, otherwise called Jnana Yoga. And as a result of Jnana Yoga, a person will attain Nirguna Ishvara Jnanam, the knowledge of the higher nature of God. Saguna nature, Saguna Jnanam, Saguna Swarupam is considered lower nature, and Nirguna Jnanam, Nirguna Ishvara Jnanam is considered higher nature of Bhagawad. And in the 7th chapter, the name attributed to the Saguna, the inferior nature, was Apara Prakriti. And for Nirguna, higher nature of Lord, the name given was Para Prakriti. And this Para Prakriti Jnanam, a person attains here and now. As a result of that, one enjoys Jivan Mukti and later Videha Mukti. So first, Krishna touched upon Sadhyo Mukti in the 7th chapter. Then in 8th chapter, he switched over to Krama Mukti. And in the 9th chapter, again, we come back to Sadhyo Mukti itself. And that is why 8th chapter is the odd chapter which is sandwiched between the 7th chapter and 9th chapter, both dealing with Nirguna Ishvara Jnanam, which is the liberating knowledge. And when we talk about Nirguna Ishvara Jnanam, in fact, all of us have undergone this stage. A person may think that it is extremely difficult, because Nirguna is too abstract, too subtle. And Krishna in the introduction itself says that Nirguna Ishvara Swarupam may appear difficult for an unprepared mind. But once you prepare the mind, it is the easiest. It will be like a cakewalk. So naturally we will ask, how should I prepare for Nirguna Ishvara Jnanam? Answer is very simple. Karma Yoga followed by Saguna Ishvara Upasana. And therefore, in the 9th chapter, Krishna wants to deal with Saguna Ishvara Upasana, the preparation of the mind, and then Nirguna Ishvara Jnanam, liberation. This is the approach of the 9th chapter. So with this background, we will see the 9th chapter slokas. Okay. We will go into the text proper. In fact, we can divide the entire 9th chapter into 6 sections. Verses 1 to 3 are introductory verses. Then from verses 4 to 10, we get the central theme of the chapter wherein Nirguna Ishvara Swarupam is revealed. Then in the 11th verse, Krishna pointed out the cause of samsara, why samsara is there. Then from 12th verse up to 19th verse, the remedy is given in the form of bhakti. Then from verses 20 to 29, Krishna talks about 2 forms of bhakti based upon one's motive. And from verse 30 to 34, Krishna completes this teaching by glorifying bhakti and points out the greatness of bhakti. So now we will briefly discuss the contents of each section. So as I said, the first 3 verses happen to be the introduction to the chapter. And in the introduction, Krishna mentions the subject matter of this chapter. And what is the subject matter? Ishvara Jnanam. And that too, which Ishvara Jnanam? The higher nature of Ishvara, Paraprakriti Ishvara Jnanam, Nirguna Swarupa Jnanam. And since this knowledge is not available or accessible to the unprepared mind, this will remain a secret for the unprepared mind. It's like the theory of relativity of Einstein. Because it is not very easy to understand the theory of relativity unless you have got a very strong exposure to physics. You must have studied physics at very high levels. That is the preparation required to study the theory of relativity. And therefore, this Brahma Jnanam, this knowledge remains a secret for many because many have not got the mind, the prepared mind. And therefore, Krishna calls it Raja Guhyam, this greatest secret. And since at the same time, this knowledge alone liberates a person, this alone is the liberating knowledge, Krishna calls it Raja Vidya, the greatest knowledge. And this Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, otherwise known as Nirguna Ishvara Jnanam, is the subject matter of the 9th chapter, which he mentions in the first 3 verses. And incidentally, he mentions an important qualification which is also required. Among different preparations, one important preparation is Shraddha, keeping an open mind. Until I am able to understand, I do not reject the teaching. I do not reject the teacher. So be patient until you understand. And this he conveyed. Ashraddhadana purusha dharmasyasya parantapa aprapyamam nivartante mrityu samsara vartmani. So if you reject the teaching, loser is not the teaching. Loser is not Krishna or the rishis who have composed the Upanishads. They are not going to lose. Anything, if you do not study, you are the loser. And therefore, if you want, you should have an open mind. And this is what is in the introduction, Krishna is emphasizing. So apart from Saguna Ishvara Dhyanam, which was emphasized in the 7th chapter, this 8th chapter, here Krishna is also emphasizing one more preparatory step, which is you must have an open mind. Must have Shraddha in the teaching and the teacher till the time that you understand what is being taught. Then from 4th verse up to 10th verse, we get the central theme of the chapter, wherein Nirguna Ishvara Swarupam is revealed. The nature of real God, or we can say nature, highest nature of God. And Nirguna Ishvara in Vedanta is called Brahman. And therefore these 7 verses deal with Brahma Swarupam. And Krishna mentions a few important features or nature of Brahman extracted from the Upanishads. Krishna, throughout Bhagavad Gita, will keep reminding us that, my dear, this is not my own teaching. All I am giving you is a food. I am serving you the food which has been cooked by the Upanishads. I have studied, I am the one who has actually given the Upanishads to the world. So I know the contents of all the Upanishads. I am now condensing everything and giving it to you in the form of Bhagavad Gita. One way you can say that Krishna is the person who has actually created this Upanishads, based on which he is giving Bhagavad Gita, which is a, you can call it a, what is that, simpler version. Instead of reading or studying all the Upanishads, at least even 10 major Upanishads, you can study Bhagavad Gita and get to know the essence of all the Upanishads. So the whole idea of Bhagavad Gita is borrowed from Upanishads. And that is why, each chapter ends with what? Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita, so Upanishadsu, etc. Isn't it? So what are the features mentioned? Krishna enumerates. The first feature Krishna mentions is the real I or real God is all pervading. Sarvagata aham asmi. And therefore any personal God who is located in a place like Vaikuntha, Kailasa, etc. is not the real God, because real God does not have any location. Brahmaloka, Brahmaji is the father of heaven. Kailasa, Shiva is there, and Vishnu is there in Vaikuntha. All these forms, the names and forms, they are inferior form of gods, presented for the beginners of spirituality. We do not say they are wrong. We do not criticize that. We do not condemn that. In fact, everybody has to start from that only. With a personal God, with a God with form, with a location, a place. All that is necessary, including all the qualities of that God, what all the God gives. The Puranas give stories after stories. All that are necessary. But we must understand that is not the ultimate. It is very important to remember that without Saguna Ishvara, one cannot come to Nirguna Ishvara. Without Nirguna Ishvara, remaining in Saguna Ishvara is incomplete spirituality. And therefore, a sadhaka has to go to Saguna, then it has to culminate in Nirguna. So therefore, feature number 1 is Ishvara Sarvagataha. And the second feature that Krishna mentions is that Avyaktaha aham. Avyaktaha means Indriya agocharaha avyaktaha. Not available for any kind of sensory perception. Ashabdam, asparsham, arupam, arasam, agandham, Brahma. And therefore, if anybody talks about seeing God with eyes, Bhagavan's darshanam, I saw with my own eyes. If they say, we don't disbelieve them. We don't dismiss that darshanam. But what we say is that the Lord of the darshanam is only apara prakriti nature. So what you have seen as Bhagavan's form is not the real God. Because real God is Indriya agocharaha Ishwaraha, is Avyaktam. So this is the second feature. Third feature that Krishna mentions is Mithya Jagat Adhishtanam. The Lord is the support of the entire world, who has got only one, with the world which has got a lower order of reality, which is unreal compared to the higher order. Just as the dream world is real from standpoint of the dreaming individual, but the dream world is unreal from the standpoint of the waker. Similarly, this world is unreal from the standpoint of the super waker. This world is real. Sorry, we'll put it this way. This world is real from the standpoint of waker, but this world is unreal from the standpoint of super waker, from the standpoint of para prakriti, the higher nature of God. And therefore, what is the third definition? Lord is the substratum of the unreal world, the world of lesser order of reality. In Sanskrit, Mithya Jagat Adhishtanam. In fact, we find this description in Lalita Sahasranama. One of the nama is Mithya Jagat Adhisthana Muktida Mukti Rupini Lasya Priyalaya Gari Lajjarambadi Vandita is there in Lalita Sahasranama. So Mithya Jagat Adhishtanam is the third feature. Then the fourth feature is Lord is Asanga Swarupaha. Asangaha means even though the Lord is the support of this entire world, the impurities of the world do not sully the rod, the ashraya. Because normally, if a dirty object is kept over a pure cloth, the dirt of that object will sully the cloth, isn't it? Because the ashraya is sullied by the ashrita, the object. That is the normal convention. That is how it happens. But in the case of Ishvara, even though he supports the whole world, but the impurities of the world do not taint him. And therefore, Lord is compared to Akasha. Just as space accommodates everything without getting sullied by, tainted by anything, Lord is Akashavat Asanga Swarupaha. So this is the fourth feature we saw in the verse number 6. Yata kasho stito nityam, yata kasha stito nityam, vayus sarvatra gomahan, tata sarvani bhutani, matstani tyupadharaya. Sixth verse. Asanga, asangar swarupaha. Then the fifth feature that is mentioned is Ishvara Jagata Srishti Sthiti Layakaran. Higher nature of the Lord is the very cause of origination, existence, and resolution of the creation. We saw Taitra Upanishad mantra, Yato va imani bhutani jayante, yena jatani jivanti, yat prayanti abhisamvashanti, samvishanti, tat vigyajas Tat vijignasasva tat brahmeti. That idea Krishna brings in this fifth verse. Jagat Karanatvam. Then the next feature is, if you say Ishvara is the creator of the universe, then it also appears that Ishvara is a karta. Because creator means he has to create. He is doing something. He is doing a big job. Creating the vast universe, preserving the universe, which means all these earthquakes, etc., tsunamis are all must be his job. And because of that, millions are dying. So Ishvara is responsible for all the natural calamities. And if Ishvara is doing all this, Ishvara must be Karta Bhokta. And then if Ishvara is Karta and Bhokta, he will have Punyam and Papam. So all these doubts will come. And therefore Krishna says, I do not create anything. In my presence, Sakshi Matrena, creation arises, exists and resolves. It is just like the light. No, in any lecture hall or any place, light is only present in the hall. Light is not responsible for the type of activity that people do. One person may do a noble activity in the light. Another person may do an ignoble activity in the presence of light. But the light will not get good result or bad result. Similarly, Ishvara is Surya Alokavat Sakshi Matram. Just like the sun, good, bad, ugly, sun will shine on everything without getting itself tainted. It's only a witness, as though a witness for everything. So this is the next feature. And the last one, which is a corollary of this. Since the Lord is only a witness, Lord does not have kartrutvam, doership, or bhoktritvam, enjoyership. Both do not belong to Ishvara. So these are the features of the higher nature of Lord, that is Brahman. And this is the portion from verse number 4 to 10. Then in the 11th verse, Krishna pointed out why there is samsara, why there is suffering in the world. Samsara karanam kim. And Krishna says, samsara karanam is ignorance of this Ishvara. Ishvara means the higher nature, higher Ishvara. Nirgunam Ishvara. Para prakriti ajnanam eva. Brahma ajnanam eva samsara karanam. What is the logic? The logic is Nirgunam Brahma alone is beyond time and space. Nirguna Brahma alone is attributeless. Only because of this it is beyond time and space. And anything other than Nirgunam Brahma, that is Sagunam Brahma, which comes under Apara Prakriti, is within time and space. So the moment you come to properties, it is subject to change. There will be increase, there will be decrease. You take our own physical properties, story is the same. As we grow, all features keep changing, complexion changes, hairline changes. After some time, it disappears also. Weight changes, eyesight changes, hearing changes. We cannot name any property that is changeless. Therefore, Saguna Ishvara, Apara Prakriti means within time and space, which means it is subject to decay, subject to diminishing and decay, subject to disappearance. It is subject to association and disassociation. And whatever is subject to time cannot give us security, because time will destroy everything. And therefore, if I do not know para prakriti, if I am ignorant of para prakriti, what will I do? I will naturally seek security from apara prakriti. I will seek peace, I will seek happiness, I will seek permanence in this fluctuating, highly fleeting, ephemeral apara prakriti. And when I hold on to apara prakriti, what happens? Right under my nose, the apara prakriti disappears. If it does not disappear, I disappear. Either one will disappear. So, apara prakriti is the cause of all our struggles because expectations of ours are so much that can never be fulfilled. At some stage or the other, we will be disappointed, we will be frustrated, we will be getting even angry with the Lord. On the contrary, if I understand para prakriti, I will know where I can get security. And therefore, what is the cause of samsara? Wrong expectation of permanence from apara prakriti. And why do we expect permanence from apara prakriti? Because we do not know that para prakriti is the real permanent one. And that is why ignorance of para prakriti is the cause for samsara. And this is what is pointed out in the 11th verse. Then from 12th verse up to 19th verse, the remedy is given in the form of bhakti. And when we say bhakti, we should clearly remember that bhakti is not just one sadhana, but a series of sadhanas culminating in jnanam. Bhakti should culminate in jnanam because the problem of samsara is ajnanam, is because of ajnanam. If ignorance is the problem, the only solution is what? Knowledge. In fact, in Atma Bodha, Adi Shankara says, Aviroditaya karma na vidyam vinivartayet vidya vidyam nihantyeva tejas 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 timira sangavat. Tejas timira sangavat. The beautiful Atma Bodha is a very beautiful text. Maybe after we finish Mundaka Upanishad, I will teach Atma Bodha. Let us see. A lot of time is there for that at least. So what Shankara says here is if darkness is the problem, what is the solution? You cannot remove darkness by sweeping with a broomstick. Or for that matter, you cannot remove darkness by chanting Vishnu Sahasranama or any other Sahasranama. You cannot remove darkness by doing puja or even meditation. Of course, all these you may get punya, but darkness will not be removed. So what is the only way to remove darkness? Very simple, light a lamp. Similarly, Krishna has pointed out that Ajnanam of Nirguna Brahma is the Karanam for samsara. Therefore, Nirguna Brahma Jnanam alone is the solution. Therefore, bhakti must be a series of sadhana which should culminate in Jnanam. And this series of bhakti sadhana has 3 levels, which we will discuss it more elaborately in the 12th chapter. But it is indicated here in this chapter. What are the 3 levels of bhakti? Karma Rupa Bhakti, Upasana Rupa Bhakti, and Jnana Rupa Bhakti, or Vedanta Vichara Rupa Bhakti. So the first level of bhakti should be in the form of Karma Yoga, wherein we dedicate every action to the Lord. Yat karoshi yad asnasi, yat juhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. So Krishna said, be active, do a lot of karma, but convert every karma into a worship. And this level of bhakti is called karma rupa bhakti. Bhakti in the form of action. And thereafter we have to graduate to the next level of bhakti called upasana rupa bhakti. Because in karma rupa bhakti, we have an extrovert mind. That extrovert mind has to be turned inward. The karmas have got a knack of making me extrovert, whether it is selfish activity or selfless activity. Many people who have been very active doing selfish activity, they cannot sit and study Vedanta. They will be restless. They will have to do something or the other because highly restless people. Even selfless activity people, they serve the society, wonderful. But that is what their mind will always be engaged in. What more I can do, what more I can do. That restlessness will be there in the mind. Therefore, karma yoga is a good thing, but a time should come when we should withdraw from that and pass it on to the next generation. And then we have to train our mind to turn inward. Antarmukha samaradhya bahirmukha sudurlabha. Those who know this Sahasranamams and all will know where this comes. So an extrovert mind cannot observe Vedanta. And therefore, how to turn the mind inward? Upasana rupa bhakti. Bhakti in the form of meditation. Saguna meditation only. This is the second stage. Then we have to come to the third stage and final stage of bhakti, which is called Vedanta Vichara Rupa Bhakti, Jnana Yoga Rupa Bhakti, in which I study the scriptures, Shravana Manana Nidhyasanam. In fact, right now, what we are doing, when you are attending either Gita class or an Upanishad class, etc., you are practicing only Jnana Rupa Bhakti. In 4th chapter, Krishna called it Jnana Yajna. And he also pointed out that Jnana Yajna is superior to all other forms of Yajna. I hope you all remember 4th chapter. Shreyan Dravyamayat Yajnat Jnana Yajna Parantapa Sarvam Karma Khilam Partha Jnane Parisamapyate. All karmas eventually, ultimately end in jnanam only, parisamapyate. Therefore, we have to come to jnana lakshana bhakti. And when a person has gone through all these three levels of bhakti, he becomes what? A jnani bhakta hai, a devotee with the knowledge of Ishvara. Which Ishvara? Apara prakriti or para prakriti? Jnani of para prakriti, nirguna brahma jnanam. And how will be that knowledge? What is the culmination of that knowledge? Kaivalya Upanishad says, Mayyeva sakalam jatam, Mayyeva sarvam pratishtitam, Mayi sarvam layam yati, Tad brahma advayam asmyaham. That is the culmination of knowledge. What para prakriti, higher nature of God am I talking about? That higher nature of God, I am only that higher nature of God. Tad Brahma Advayam Asmi Aham Brahmasmi. That is the correct jnanam, that is the culmination of Jnani Bhakti. Of course, let us not get into that now, because that's all come later. So, Nirguna Ishvara Jnani Bhakta hai. So, when I say Bhakti leads to liberation, we must remember Bhakti which consists of all three levels of the sadhana. If you do only Nama Sankirtanam or Upasana, you will not get Jnanam. They are only first two stages of bhakti. You have to study the scriptures under the guidance of a competent Acharya. As Krishna again said in the 4th chapter, Tad Vidhi Pranipatena Pariprasnena Sevaya Upadekshanti Te Jnanam Jnaninas Tattva Darshinaha. So one has to necessarily go to an Acharya. Thus, when bhakti consisting of all three stages is followed, then he becomes a jnani, and such a jnani is liberated. Thus, bhakti as a means of liberation was pointed out. And Krishna said to become a bhakta, whatever be the level, to become a bhakta, a person should have a lot of punyam. Those who do not have enough punyam, they will never like to come to any level of bhakti. They will never even come to karma yoga or upasana. They will never come to jnanam. They will be wandering. This is what he said in the 12th verse. Moghasha mogha karmanah mogha jnana vichetasah rakshasi masurim chaiva prakritim mohinim sritah. Confused, misguided people they are. Whereas the fortunate ones will come either to karma lakshana bhakti, or is already little bit advanced, he will come to upasana lakshana bhakti. And suppose still advanced, if he is a spiritual prodigy, he will come directly to Jnana Rupa Bhakti. This is the topic from verses 12 to 19. Then from 20 to 29, Krishna talks of two forms of bhakti based on the motive. So previously we divided bhakti into three levels based on the type of sadhana. The present one is motive-based division, bhavana-based division. Of these two, one is called Sakama Bhakti, another is called Nishkama Bhakti. And what is the difference in the motive? The bhakti used to accomplish finite goals is Sakama Bhakti, where God is used as a means to achieve material goals. Kathopanishad called such people Mantaha, people of lower intellect, people who lack Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekaha. But even Sakama Bhakti is valid and fruitful because it is not a Papa Karma. Krishna says, if a person takes to Sakama Bhakti, I will certainly fulfill his desires. But then what will happen? He will enjoy the benefit. Even if he is doing Sakama Bhakti for going to Swargaloka, I will fulfill his desire. But then what will happen? Te tam bhuktva Swargaloka vishalam chine punye matyalokam vishanti. Their life will be like the snake and ladder game, children play. These days, adults also are playing such games, Ludo and all. It's a different matter. So what will happen? They may climb the ladder very fast and go. I think out of 100 squares, the 99 square will be a big serpent. Come back to number 3 or something. So they will be very happy. I have reached the last row. I am in 95 or something. And then they will, put the dice and it will give a 4. 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, zing, come back to 3. So, they may climb the ladder fast only to be swallowed by the snake when they reach the top. And this will be an endless game. However, an intelligent person will use bhakti for achieving the infinite. He is a Nishkama Bhakta who has understood that Nitya Vastu alone can give me lasting security. Para Prakriti alone can give me peace, security and happiness. And therefore he will use his bhakti for things connected with Para Prakriti, Jnanam. And if he does not have prepared mind, he will utilize bhakti for preparing the mind. In fact, all such prayers are built in the Sandhyavantana mantras. He says, whatever qualification I need, O Lord, please bless me with that. O Lord, please give me Chitta Shuddhi, which is also Nishkama Bhakti. Asking for a guru is Nishkama Bhakti. Asking for an appropriate opportunity to study the Shastras is Nishkama Bhakti. After joining the class, asking for continuity is Nishkama Bhakti. Praying to Lord that let there be no obstacles even for that 1 hour I am attending the class, like mobile phone ringing or the spouse asking for something from the background and my mic is unmuted and all the class can hear what conversation is going on between me and my spouse. So praying that such a thing should not happen is also Nishkama Bhakti. And whatever you are listening to, if you do not understand, praying to the Lord for understanding is also Nishkama Bhakti. After understanding, if you keep forgetting, asking for non-forgetfulness is also Nishkama Bhakti. All these are all Nishkama Bhakti. And having talked about Nishkama Bhakti, Bhagavan says, Sakama Bhakti is very difficult to practice and the result is finite. It is full of rules and regulations. And even if one observes all the injunctions perfectly, the result is only finite. Whereas Nishkama Bhakti, which gives the highest result, is very easy to practice. All that you have to offer to Bhagavan. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachyate tadaham bhakti upahritam ashnami prayatatmanah. So thus, in this section, Krishna differentiated Sakama and Nishkama Bhakti, and he expects all intelligent people to follow Nishkama Bhakti. And you need not initially take up Nishkama Bhakti as an alternative to Sakama Bhakti. You can continue with both for some time. But your ultimate aim should be to gradually reduce the involvement in Sakama Bhakti. Eventually outgrow it and continue only with Nishkama Bhakti. And this is the teaching from verse number 20 to 29. And from verse 30 to 34, Krishna completes this teaching by glorifying Bhakti, highlighting the greatness of Bhakti. And since Bhakti has got several layers, like a ladder, several steps, beginning from the lowest rung of Karma Lakshana Bhakti, then Upasana Lakshana Bhakti, then Jnana Lakshana. Anybody can start the Bhakti at any level, according to his or her level of spiritual maturity. It is not that one has to study Nirguna Brahma straight away. One can start with Karma Yoga, which is very easy. Even you practice Sakama Karma, but dedicate it to the Lord. So anybody can start Bhakti at any level. And Krishna goes one step further. Even if a person has been a very corrupt person, taking to all kinds of negative activities, even that person need not entertain any guilt. Because guilt is one of the most powerful obstacles in spirituality. Guilt leads to diffidence, and diffidence is the greatest obstacle. Because if I am diffident, even if all others are confident, it will be of no use. On the other hand, if I am confident, even if all others are diffident, it will work. And therefore, spiritual sadhana requires self-confidence, a can-do attitude, perseverance. One time you study, twice you study, you're not understanding. Oh, I'm not understanding anything. Don't leave it. Continue. Continue till you understand. That is what, people who reach the top in whatever field, that's what they do. That's how they train themselves for marathons. Initial stages, there will be obstacles, there will be difficulties. We must understand that. Unless, of course, you are born as a prodigy, spiritual prodigy, like Ramana Maharshi, etc. Young age itself, Vedanta Jnanam was so much. So, spiritual sadhana, first of all, requires self-confidence. Other people can encourage, Guru can encourage, Shastra can encourage, but that's finally the spiritual sadhana only I have to do. And for that, this guilt, hurt and guilt are two things Puja Swamiji used to always emphasize on that. If you want to come to Jnana Yoga, you have to overcome. Of course, Chitta Shuddhi is there. Part of Chitta Shuddhi is you must be able to transcend hurt and guilt. What does it mean? What does it mean? If somebody is abusing you, somebody is calling you names, somebody is criticizing you, normal circumstances, we will be very hurt. Either we will be overtly hurt or covertly hurt, isn't it? There will be a reaction. You must overcome that. You must outgrow that reaction. Even covertly also, you must not get hurt. Smile and get along. Let anybody say anything. 100 dogs, let them bark at the sun. Sun will keep shining as it is. So that is the first thing you have to overcome. Second thing you have to overcome is guilt. And the guilt normally comes, I was supposed to do this, I couldn't do it, I'm guilty for that. Especially when it comes to our duties and responsibilities towards family, etc., etc. Many poor people, they have this guilt that they have not been able to earn enough to leave, some wealth for their children, etc. And even if they don't feel guilty, many times children will point out that, what have you done for me? You have not left me even a single rupee. So hurt and guilt one needs to overcome. That is also part of all the preparatory sadhanas. Therefore, here Krishna is dealing with guilt. He says, once you have understood that your lifestyle has been unhealthy, decide to change. Once you have turned a new leaf and decided to change, the very decision makes you a saint. Api chet suduracharaha bhajate mam ananya bhag sadhureva samantavyah samyak vyavasito hisaha. And not only that, Krishna says there may be also some people who have got some disadvantages because of their very birth, because of their parentage, because of their location, etc. There can be people with inherent disadvantages, but even those disadvantaged people can practice bhakti and attain liberation. And therefore, Arjuna, be a bhakta. And how to be a bhakta? He says in the last verse, where he presents the definition of bhakta very beautifully. Manmana bhava mad bhaktaha madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yuktvaivam atmanam mat parayanaha. So first mat bhakta bhava. First you learn to love me, at least for the sake of worldly goals. Use me as the means for your worldly goals. It does not matter. That's the first stage. Then in due course, learn to love me as the very goal itself. Mat parayanaha. Keep me as the goal. Third stage is never forget this goal. Manmana bhava. Always keep me as your goal in your mind. Always remember this goal. Then the fourth stage is convert your very life into a form of worship, taking you towards the goal, Madhyaji Bhava. And then the foremost and the final factor is, even when you are progressing, don't become arrogant. Remember, the grace of the Lord is always required. Be humble. Mam namaskuru. Never become arrogant because of your spiritual progress. Be humble. Seek the grace of the Lord. And if these 5 factors are taken care of, Krishna says, you are my bhakta. And sooner or later, you will certainly attain me. Mame vaishyasi. Mameva vaishyasi. So with this glorification of bhakti, Krishna concludes this particular discourse of the 9th chapter. And since this subject matter is Raja Vidya and Raja Guhyam, the chapter is appropriately called Raja Vidya Raja Guhya Yoga. So I have been able to just take 2 minutes only extra. Okay, let's say the prayers. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Thank you.
I hope I didn't go very fast.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Guruji.
Guruji. Thank you, Guruji.
If any of you finds it very fast, please replay the video and listen to it again.
Not at all, Guruji. It was very nice, very concise, and still, it was like listening to the essence of every chapter once again. It was very nice, Guruji. Thank you very much.
I think, yeah, it was very, very, very nice consent. Very shortly, I think some time back, either in Vishnu Sahasranamam or in this class, you once said that Arpana Buddhi and Prasada Buddhi.
Ishwararpana Buddhi and Prasada Buddhi. Yes.
Prasada Buddhi.
Namaste, Guruji.
Fundamentals of Karma Yoga. That's what he says, dedicate everything to me. So
Thank you very much, Guruji. Namaskar.
should be the attitude for all of us. And
Yeah.
that attitude itself, when you are not assuming that if the moment you say I am a karta, what happens? Non-performance becomes a guilt.
Yes.
The moment you say I am a karta, then there is no guilt. So that is all, the more we get into this idea more and more, these things will become clearer and clearer for us. Why this akarta, bhokta, all are, related rather. Everything is related in spirituality rather.
Nice.
Namaste, Guruji.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Very nice session.
Dhanyawad, Ramuji. Thank you.
Guruji, very nice session with detailed analysis, studies, references to the other scriptures, and giving very clear-cut roadmap for the life. Karma Yoga, Sakama Bhakti, Nishkama Bhakti, Dhyana Yoga, everything was very clear-cut roadmap. As a humble naman to you, Guruji, for all this. As you have said, this is the Rajaguhya Rajavidya Yoga, as the Bhagwan says himself. And also the 9th chapter lies in the center of the Bhagavad Gita. Is it so that this chapter gives the central theme of the Bhagavad Gita?
Oh, yes, exactly. It is this. That's why right in the beginning I said, this is a very, very important chapter for which Krishna sowed the seed in the 7th chapter. And here he is presenting. Now, after this chapter, what he will do?
Elaborate other
Come back to Saguna Ishvara.
Achha.
And 10th chapter is Vibhuti Yoga. So what he will say, Arjuna, having said all these things, Arjuna himself is asked Krishna, you have been talking about this, Saguna, what is this? What are the gunas that you have? Krishna will briefly explain. Then Krishna will take Arjuna to another level of this bhakti, which I said earlier, no? From Ekarupa Ishvara to Vishwarupa Ishvara. Then he will take him to Vishwarupa Ishvara in the 11th chapter. So after that 11th chapter will complete the Ekarupa Ishvara and Vishwarupa Ishvara Jnana. Afterwards, Krishna will continue with some assorted topics, and eventually 15th chapter, he will come and completely reveal what is Brahman is about. So we will see all that we will see. I mean, it's a very nice, enjoyable journey. I don't want to break the suspense right now here itself and giving you the
Okay. Yeah. Nice. Thank you.
Bhagavad Gita 922 is there, important.
Sorry?
922 is there in this important chapter.
Yeah.
Ananya Chindayantamam.
Yes.
And Atmabodha you talked about, it's a beautiful text with 63 slokas and nearly 60 examples are given.
Yeah. Exactly.
Full of examples.
Yes. That's true. So it'll be nice going forward.
Thank you, Guruji.
Yeah, along with you, I am equally enjoying studying and then narrating. It's very enjoyable, very, very fulfilling, rather, I should say.
Each sloka can take one class.
Yeah. Puja Swamiji used to do. Puja Swamiji used to take 3 classes for one sloka in the third, this thing, no? What is that sloka, Karmanyavadikaraste. Puja Swamiji used to talk about that for 3 days. So you can, I mean, depending upon the level of the knowledge that you have got, how much exposure you have got, and also the examples for people to understand it well, you can talk each sloka, one full lecture, you can talk easily. That is.
I just remember Sunandaji, Parsadi's daughter, used to take one sloka for one day.
Yeah.
That she had to talk.
If we are doing daily classes, we can do that.
Yeah, I agree.
If we are doing once in a week, it will take 700 weeks.
Okay.
We may not be alive.
No. I'm talking about Atmabodha. She took one class.
Atmabodha can do, because Atmabodha is it requires a good explanation. But then what I thought was, if you come to Atmabodha after exposure to say some Upanishad, it will be much more
easier,
and you will be able to relate to more.
Yeah.
Because Atmabodha, straight away, Tattvabodha, you go to Atmabodha, everything will go there rather.
Okay.
Now, Atmabodha, after Mundakopanishad, if you study Atmabodha, it will make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
We will be able to understand Adi Shankara like anything. You will start loving Adi Shankara. Such beautiful examples, as you said. For every shloka, one example he gives. Beautiful. Yeah.
Dhanyawad.
Dhanyawad. Hari Om. Any other question, comments?
Guruji, namaste. This is Lata again. Guruji, this is I think again at the end of my question and at the end of the answer, the essence will be, why do we worry about all those things when we are on the path of moksha? Just carry on what we are meant to do and not to worry about too many questions which cannot be answered. I'm sure that's going to be that. But still, the mind is the monkey.
Yeah.
Mind monkey, as they say, monkey which has had alcohol and who has been bitten by a scorpion. So there's so many questions keep coming up. It's like Bhagwan saying that I'm not doing anything because that's why I'm a karta abhokta. But so in my presence, Prakriti does everything, the Maya or the Prakriti. So that somehow I'm putting it in a very low way. It's like our politicians saying they don't do anything, but they get things done by their gundas. Or I'm sorry about the way I'm putting it.
I mean that's true. But of course, here when you say, I mean, the examples we can. That's a good example.
No,
I'm
that's
not
just
doing
popped up in
anything.
my
Yeah.
mind that, but somehow it appears quite difficult to swallow. That he says that I do everything, but then I
No.
don't do
The
anything.
idea is that when you say I, that I is reflection of your expression of your ego.
Mm.
The moment you understand that,
Yeah.
everything that is happening, right? Now I have no control over that. So I cannot take either the credit or the debit for what is happening. The moment we think that I am the doer, I am responsible for this, that I is what? It's an expression of your ego,
Ego. Mm.
ahankara. So you must outgrow that. Everything which is happening, it will happen. Whether you are there or you are not there, it will happen. So you just convert yourself to be a witness.
Yes,
So
Guruji.
means your higher nature.
Yes, Guruji. Yeah.
So again, from your personal perspective also, you must be able to clearly see, this is my lower nature, this is my higher nature. My lower nature, I've got ego, I've got everything. But that is not my real nature. That is the part of this body, mind, sense complex is a part of apara prakriti.
Yes, once you connect yourself with the higher nature, even if it's for a moment during meditation or even as you're going around with your
Yes.
day-to-day activity, but then there's nothing. Once you connect, you're nothing. That's nothing. But then once you come down, then everything is just.
Once you have gone up, why should you come down?
Vyavaharika Satyam.
Vyavaharika Satyam, but what will happen is, I mean, as I keep on saying, it is not just, one shot you will just go up and then like a lift, you go and no. Takes time.
Yeah. To make it into.
It takes time.
Make it into an all-time.
Yeah. It will take a long time. And that you will succeed only if you very consciously keep watching your behavior, your reactions, your attitude, your thinking, everything.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because first of all, what will happen? All these things will be overt. I mean, it will be everybody else can see all these things. Your mind is disturbed and you are taking it out on your spouse or children and things like that and all. Next stage, what will happen? You will not be overt. So withdraw from that overt kind of expression. In your mind, you will be disturbed, but you will not allow that disturbance to be expressed physically.
Spill out on you.
First stage that. Then second stage is even mind, keep telling the mind, "Hey, Baba, calm down, calm down. Doesn't matter. I know you are disturbed, but it's okay. Take it easy, take it easy." Like, many people tell us also when we are disturbed, when we are overtly angry or something, people will say, take it easy, don't worry, and all that. So similarly, we have to train our mind to do that. Continuously you do that, you will reach a stage where things will not, bother you. Things may happen. Things will happen which earlier you were disliking. But it will not trouble you. Will not trouble you. You'll take it, let it be there. I will continue with what I am going to do. My mind is not disturbed now. I am not going to be what. So stage by stage by stage, by constantly monitoring the behavior of the mind. And then Chanchalam hi Mana Krishna, we know it will keep jumping here and there, as you rightly said. Intoxicated monkey. But then that has to be brought under control, and that is the whole spirituality is about. And everybody can't do it. I can tell you, 1 in a million, if they do it, is a big high success rate. Even 1 in a million is able to do it, it's a very high success rate. But then we can be one with that one. That's all.
Yeah, I remember one of the gurus, the spiritual teachers used to say, "Har pal hosh mein jiyo."
Yeah.
Har pal hosh mein jiyo. And I think, that's what you're also saying, Guruji. Yes, that's what.
Awareness,
Awareness.
Every movement you have to be aware.
Yeah, one moment you slip and then somehow you've gone down somewhere, and then it's so difficult you feel bad to have gone
down. You feel bad, you feel guilty. So you must keep telling your mind, hey mind, behave yourself. Isn't it? This is not correct. What you are doing is not correct. You have learned so much. Krishna is giving you all the good advice. Why are you not following Krishna's advice? Keep telling your mind.
And also not to beat yourself for the...
not beat yourself at all.
For the missing that you have done.
No.
Just
that
keep
is
going.
why Karma Yoga is the best attitude develop, strongly develop. Whatever comes to you, take it as prasada of Ishvara. That is what, was in my, written for me. I got it, whether good or bad.
Yeah.
I will accept it and continue. That's all. So that Ishvara Arpana Bhava and Ishvara Prasada Bhava is the fundamental thing we have to first learn. That's why Karma Yoga is, that is how we have to, Chitta Shuddhi and Jnana Yogyata, that is how we have to prepare ourselves. In fact, in this preparation is more, if you, as usually, in all projects they say, planning is 80%, execution is only 20%. Okay.
Yes.
Similarly here, in spirituality, 80% is preparation. Once you are fully prepared, then all this Brahma Jnanam and all will be cakewalk. 20% you will get through it rather. No problem. But preparation is a very difficult phase.
Yeah. The tenets of the Karma Yoga is very nice. But I keep forgetting the other two. I think there are about 5 of them. Prasada Buddhi, Ishwararpana Buddhi, Samatva Buddhi, and there are 2 others which I keep forgetting.
Yeah, see, basically...
Which are very... once it's fixed here, then...
Yeah, karma is action. Karma Yoga is bringing Ishvara into that action, in every action that you do. And once you bring that, what happens? Then this is good, this is bad, that will go away. And so you then get the Samatva Buddhi, or judging people, judging incidences, judging situations, all this will go away. So again, Karma Yoga is not one step, it has got its own, I would call its route rather. Okay, its own trajectory is there. All these are all, various occasions on various contexts. We will keep discussing all these things again. Yeah, that's what we will do.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thanks a lot. So next week, 10th chapter, we will start. Okay. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you, Guruji.
Hari Om, Guruji. Hari Om.
Thank you, Hari Om.
Thank you, Guruji.